Welcome to the Manage Comics Thoughtstream for today, Thursday, April 28th, 2022. I am, as always, your host, Brian Garside, and I'm here to chew bubblegum and deliver awesome comics news. And I'm all out of bubblegum, so let's get started. This week, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do kind of the standard review of what we've been doing, what we've got going on. We'll also go through some of the things that are coming up. And then we're going to jump right into basically a Shopify configuration. So we're going to walk through how I would configure Shopify from the ground up. Now, I have cheated a little bit and I've added a few things to get started, but we'll kind of go through those things just because I wanted to kind of streamline this whole process a little bit. So let's jump right into the good stuff, and we're going to start talking about this week's changes. So this is the Manage Comics roadmap. So roadmap.managecomics.com is where you would go to see this information. And this is the stuff that we actually are in progress on right now. So first story is for Julian from BD Cosmos, who said he'd like to be able to clone a campaign that he'd sent before. Relatively simple kind of addition. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That's in QA right now, so I should be able to review it and get it going. We've added the ability to check in a PRHPDR report, which is a lot of acronyms. So Penguin Random House pre-delivery report. That should be available starting next week. We're going to show you a little bit more information about the shortages damages report so that you'll know who didn't get something. We're going to add some WYSIWYG options to the terms of service. So the same kind of tools that are in the email now will be in the terms of service. We'll be able to check the UPC codes before creating a new version of a product in Shopify because we have Diamond, Lunar, and PRH codes, which could be different than the actual barcode. We're going to do our check with the barcode first. That's the same story, PDR report. And we're going to add every single item that's on an initial order. Right now, it only shows items that have an order with them. We want to be able to show everything. And then that kind of ties into our next phase, which will be to show a lot more information about the products. But first of all, we need to be able to show all the items. So we like to phase things out when we can. Next project we'll be working on is just more data about the initial orders. And then in the meantime, I'm BAing some changes for the orders page and also the POS implementation that we'll be adding. So yeah, that's kind of what we're working on right now. But let's jump into a Shopify site. So this is just a standard Shopify install. I've went in and installed Dawn, the basic version of Shopify. So this is version 5.0. I also added some products. So I just added a bunch of products through GeekFetch just to make sure that I had a nice little baseline of products in here. I also went through and created some collections. So the way we create collections is kind of interesting. We will do like, here's a good example. So there's two different kind of ways that you can create a collection. So we'll look at the comics one, which is going to be product type is equal to the product of comics, and the inventory stock is greater than 0. So one of the unfortunate things about Shopify is that you can't do else ifs, which would be wonderful, because I would love to be able to add a bunch of different conditions and then say, unless the inventory stock is less than 1, which would be great because then I could actually show things based on which things are available. So unfortunately, for something like this, our favorite writers, I can't also say and the stock is equal to 1 or more. So yeah, that kind of sucks. So I went ahead and created a bunch of different collections just to kind of speed up this process, because this is just boring, tedious work. It has to get done. Normally, when we do this for a store, we will create probably close to 30 or 40 collections. We create all the publisher collections, we'll create all the types collections, and there's a few other collections, and we kind of tailor that to every store's um, inventory. So that changes. Hey, Walt, great question. We'll talk about this kind of at the end of this thing, but yeah, for sure, we do have Diamond UK codes now, which means that your check-ins should be going a lot smoother because your Diamond codes are in there for all for DC products. Data flow, I'm not sure what you're talking about exactly, but yeah, we don't really have anything for that right now that I know of. Okay, moving along. So collections. So some of the things I'll still need to do are navigation and a bunch of other stuff. So I usually build a checklist of the things that I'm going to do. So first of all, we did already upload our logo. So we've got a logo and we've uploaded it into the system. We resized a bunch of images to 1024 by 675. And I would generally upload those into files. So we'll just kind of create some images and upload them. Again, this is something we do as part of the install if we build your Shopify store. Yeah, so that's all done. If you are looking to do this yourself, there's a great online tool called Photopea, which is basically a web browser version of Photoshop. This allows you to do things like resize and simple stuff like that, and then save it out. We try and save our images fairly compact. So you'll notice that these are all, less than, generally speaking, less than 100 kilobytes. Even though bandwidth is super, super available, this will impact, having large images will impact your website's score, so your speed score. So we try and maintain fairly small images. We do the same thing with Manage Comics. We maintain a database of relatively small images, high quality, but they're not like 300 dpi dots per inch. They're nice and tight images. So yeah, we've already done that. Legal pages. So one of the things that you need to set up legally for your website is a bunch of policy pages. We basically created some boilerplate information, and you'll see here that I've got some things that I would have to link to. I don't know if I've created a contact page yet, so I can't really link to those things, but yeah, you can use Shopify's templates for a lot of this stuff, but you do have to go in there and kind of tweak them and remove some information out of them. So this is our streamlined versions of our various privacy policies and terms of service. And then shipping policy, every single store is different. So it depends on how you ship things, what carrier you use, etc. So you'll have to fill this one out yourself. So we can check off that we've created our legal pages. Now I'll create a navigation for policies, and we'll do that really, really quickly in our online store navigations. So I'm going to create a new menu, and I'm going to call it, so I'll call it policies, and I'll just go through and I'll add all the different, not pages, I'm going to add policies. So I'll add our privacy policy, and then I click add, and then I add our refund policy, and I'll add our terms and conditions. Terms of service. And then I save that menu, and now that's done. So we've made our main policies. I've got a navigation here, a main navigation, but I'm just going to edit it a little bit. And underneath catalog, I'm going to let's add collections. We'll add comics. And I'm just going to grab that and pull it up here like this. And then we're going to add another one for graphic novels. And we'll add another one for, let's just add games for now. We can add more collections in the future, but this gets us kind of a nice little start. So we can check off that we've also added our navigation. And then we'll go through our vendor collections. So I created all those. Those are available in, I'm going to close the roadmap so I don't keep going back to it. Again, collections are all under products collections. So I've created some vendor collections here, Boom, Dark Horse, Image, DC. I created a few different creator collections. So for example, Chip Zdarsky, if I want to really promote him, I can do that as a separate thing. And then I've created some vendor collections. So I will say I've done all that and all my type collections. So that's comics, graphic novels, add product types to filters. So with Online Store 2.0, in your online store navigation, you're going to see this thing down here called filters. And we can add different filters like product type and vendor. Personally, I like to make product type at the top. I like to make vendor second, and then I like to do availability and price. So availability means in stock or not, and then price is a little slider thing that lets you choose your pricing. So that is also done, and now we just have to go in and configure our theme. So we're going to go ahead and click on themes and click on customize. And one of the nice things about Online Store 2.0 is that they've added this whole very flexible kind of page builder thing. So we can start out with, actually, I'm going to start in the theme settings and I'm going to go to colors and I'm going to say that my solid button label for the foreground color on accent colors, we're going to say that this is actually my main blue. So I'll make that this. And I just hit enter. And now that color's there. And then I will change accent 1 to be that same blue. And I'm going to change accent 2 to be my darker blue, which is here. Text, I'm going to go with 666. It's like a dark gray, which just looks nice. I haven't actually played with this one for a while. Background 1. Oh, okay. Well, let's keep that white. Background 2. So if I wanted to have like you'll see that there's like a secondary background color in some of these things. For us, what we're going to do is we'll take my darkest blue. Actually, let's make it yellow because I like that yellow. So we'll make this one our bright yellow. And whenever we see that, we should be good. So yeah, there we go. We'll see it there. So one of the things about Dawn, the free version, is that you don't get a lot of choices in terms of your secondary and tertiary colors. We usually use either Expanse or Warehouse as our primary themes, and they're actually really good with a lot of this stuff. I also like to usually change the font, and mine is like Poppins is a nice font. It's just a little bit kind of it's more friendly, I guess, is the way I would put it. So I'll choose that as my 2, and I think this is my header font. Headings. So for headings, I like to do um, probably extra bold, which is this kind of fat header, and that will look really, really nice. And then we can also increase the size of the font. So let's say we wanted to make the regular font just a little bit bigger. Go like 110. And our buttons, kind of increase the thickness of the border a little bit. We're going to give it a little bit of a corner radius. And that looks good. Variant pills. I don't even know what a variant pill is. I am looking for favicon. So our favicon is our, I don't have a, here, let me throw in an image here. You're probably not seeing my picker right now. This is really boring. Icons. So I use my little duder. So we'll select him as our favicon. And I think that should do us for, so you can get in here and really kind of fine tune a lot of different things. We can select which social medias we want to be on. So we'll put that in, and I'll just facebook.com, and we'll do Instagram. So that will be all of those guys there. Search behavior. I think that one's interesting too. I believe that this lets us, yeah, we can show vendors or show prices in search things. But let's just update our logo. Upgrade, date it to this one. You can change your background based on different available like colors that you have. So I'm going to choose to keep it white for now. We're going to use our main menu as our menu, and we're not going to add any spacing to it. The announcement bar is this thing at the top, so we can customize this by changing like the color scheme if we wanted to. I think we'll use the yellow, and that's kind of our top. And we can change the words in here too, so we can say like subscribe, we'll try and header. I will also change the width of the logo a little bit. There we go. That looks a little better. And I think I'm going to see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to put the logo above the nav. This just gives us a little more flexibility with our nav, so we can change some more things and add more stuff as we'd like to. And then from there, you just go in and start changing things out. So I could, image banner. What I really want to say about this is that this is our Subscribe is your subscription superstore, and I can say get all of your subscription needs in one easy place. And our button will be to the shop. Or how about shop all products? That sounds good. So that is that. And then we can change this image here. So I'm going to put in my robots picture that I like. And we can give this a little bit of a opacity increase. And then we can change the size of this thing so it's not quite so big. So we can go small, medium, or large. So I'm going to go with the medium one. Just for fun, I'll just drop this. Talk about your brand. We're going to change this to latest comics. And we will change this to the comics collection. Comics. And we can kind of tweak this thing and see how many items to show. So we'll show, let's say, 4 items on the desktop. And then we can also have I believe we can have a link. So obviously I got to do some work on my button styles because that's not great. So I have to tweak our button styles. So once you start getting some things in here, then you can go in and make things look better. But we'll create another feature collection. Oops. We're going to add another feature collection. And we'll bring this up to the top. And for this one here, we will keep it small. And we're going to call this graphic novels. And we will select the graphic novel collection. And then I don't like the collage. We'll remove that one. Video is kind of useless. Multi-column is kind of cool. We'll also add, let's say, a image with text. Let's add a couple of images with text. So image with text is kind of a cool thing that lets us do. So we'll select an image on this side and we'll change our words. Change this to say so this is one of those things where you can actually start to create your individual, instead of button label, this will say shop chip. And our button link will go to collections, Chip Zdarsky. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you can really start to get into making your store unique to you. So even though all the kind of pieces of a Shopify shop are the same, what makes a Shopify shop different and unique is how you treat those individual pieces. So you can really get into this and start our favorite writers. You can really start to make things your own by, adding your own information here. And our button, we will make this collections, our favorite writers. Our image we will change to this guy. Oh no, these guys, they're cute. And we can also change which side the image is on. So we can, no, that's not there. Maybe that's not available in, there we go. So if we're doing that, then we probably want to right align the content so it looks a little nicer. Now on mobile, we'll leave it left aligned and it'll look really sharp. So I kind of like all this stuff. Featured artists. So here we might have 3 different columns, like latest comics, shop your, and we'll collections, comics, shop comics, image, a comic image, right? And then here we'll say and we will say collections, graphic novel. And our image will be, okay. And then last but not least, we will say and our collection will be games. Image, something like that. So really quickly, we have created kind of a fairly unique looking website. So with my buttons, why are my solid button label? That's why. Yeah, there we go. So actually, I like pairing up that blue with a nice yellow. So there we have it. And that is a really, really quick kind of walkthrough of how we build a store. There's a ton of other stuff you can do. So down here in the footer, you can subscribe to your email, explain why that's important. You can add some information about your mission. So you could actually change this to say like about subscribe Utron. I should have made this an easier name. And then, we are your sub. I like to save things frequently as I'm going through and doing things because I've had internet outages. I've had Shopify reset my connection. You just never know what it's going to be. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to go into our collections list and we're going to go default collections. And this is cool. We can change a bunch of different things on the collection. So we can change the background on our collection banner, which is kind of fun. Oh, that looks much better. So now that we've got a nice background color on accent 1, I wonder if accent 2, oh, it does. So yeah, we can kind of change this up a little bit so it looks nice. Our product grid, we can do some things with filtering. So we can actually say, give me vertical filtering, which I like a little bit better. We can say, I think there's a way to open. Oh, not necessarily. Yeah, Yeah, we can show the vendor, we can show the product rating on the actual product. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We can go into our collections list. So this will be like the big list of collections. And with this one, you could actually kind of customize this. So instead of it showing everything, you could just show certain collections. So you could choose which collections to show. You may not want to show like, our favorite writers and our favorite and Chip and our favorite artists, for example. So what you might want to do is reduce the amount of collections that you have available. And I think you can do that you might not be able to though, on the default Dawn theme. That might be something that you have to have one of the other themes for. In our products, if we go to a product page, so we'll just go to a default product, and over here you can start to change some of the different things available. So for example, there's a bunch of things here that don't really matter. So we'll just get rid of those blocks. And you can add different pieces of information. So shipping and returns, maybe we want to say free local pickup. And we can change the icon from truck to, there should be like a store, or let's change it to, I think this is a little package. No. Price tag, maybe that'd be fun. Yeah, that's fun. For care instructions, we'll change this one to free local pickup. And there was something I was going to say on when I was seeing all these little things. Oh, the box is actually what I wanted for free local pickup. Box looks good. Oh, I know what I was going to say. For a lot of people like to see the lock, and you can say secure payments. Makes people feel better about things when they know that the payments are secure. There's also the ability to add some extra information. So you might want to add like some standard information that shows up on every single product. So if, for example, you include a bag and board with all comic purchases, you could say that here. That's kind of up to you. So I'm just going to remove that because we don't really need it. We've also got multi-column with free shipping and hassle-free exchange. So you can kind of change that. And then this is just something that gets built in. It's product recommendations. You can say, whatever you want to say about that kind of stuff. You can also add other select sections, including featured products or image banners or multi-column, like whatever you want is here kind of built in. So yeah, you have a lot of kind of control over your product page as well. Let's also go to blog posts, cart, checkout. So yeah, we can go into our checkout and see if there's anything we want to customize here. Well, that's taking a while. There we go. So if there's anything that's customizable in your checkout, it doesn't look like this particular theme has anything that you can customize. You can take a look in your cart if there's things you can change here. So it looks like you could change the subtotal price and the checkout button. I think the checkout button, no settings there. Subtotal price, no settings. You could get rid of the featured collections if you want to. I guess the last thing that we'll do is a couple more settings things. So we're actually done kind of all of the customization that we need to do on the actual website. And we're going to go and take a look at the website in a couple seconds. But there are a couple other settings things that I want to do to kind of wrap up this whole thing. So one of them will be, we're going to jump into checkout. and I'm going to require accounts. So this is specifically for Manage Comics. Customers can't sign up to Manage Comics without an account. And I also just recommend that you should have people have an account. I think it's just a good kind of practice to be in. The other thing we're going to change is notifications. We will change the look and feel of our notifications. So I'm going to add my logo. So now any of the emails that get sent out will have my logo, and they're also going to have my main color here. So I'll change my accent color to this one. Oops. And once I save this, you have to kind of click on something to see what that looks like. But as you can see, everything's going to have a little bit more of my branding instead of the default brand. So we've got the logo in there, and we've got our navigation or our checkout button. And all of our links also use that same color, right? So we are rocking and rolling here. So that is kind of... that is a quick way of setting up Shopify. And as you saw, that was 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, plus or minus, another half hour for me to crop all those images and everything like that, I got a store going. And so let's take a look at what this store looks like. So when we started this day, my store looked like this, with about an hour's worth of total effort. I've got a store that looks like this. So, I mean, that's not too bad for very little effort. We can go and take a look at our main catalog page. Oh, my link doesn't go anywhere. That's interesting. So I'll have to fix that first link because I would like that. And let's just do that in real time. Navigation, main menu, catalog. I want that to go to all products. So one interesting thing is when you make changes to your navigation, sometimes that takes a little while because that sucks. Sometimes it takes a little while for that. I wonder if it's because there's a drop down there, so you can't actually have a link on the main. Well, let's just create a new item. We'll call it all products. And I'm going to move it to the very, very top of this one. So as I was saying, sometimes it takes a little while for your links to show up. So if you get into a situation where it's not refreshing, give it a couple minutes and it'll catch up to it. But there's our all products screen, and then we can see our comics, and we'll see our graphic novels. So yeah, and then this goes through to products, and as you can see, we've configured this so it says free local pickups and secure payments. We have an account page where you can sign up. We have your cart. And yeah, we've got our social medias down here. Some quick links, which you can edit these quick links so they can be more information. You direct link to search from here. Yeah, it's a pretty decent little site for a couple minutes worth of work. So that is how you set up Shopify, and we'll include some information in the description of this video. Once we're done, we'll kind of write some more info up. Yeah, but I'm going to check that guy off, and I think we are done with our configuring of Shopify. So let me jump into any questions that we had while I was doing all that configuration. Kind of ignored you guys for a little bit. Let's see, we have Walt's Comics Shop also asking, sorry, I just meant if one can import Diamond UK invoices into Manage Comics. You should be able to import those as of last week, Walt. So hopefully you guys aren't having any problems with that. If you are Disappeared for a second. Sorry about that, guys. I clicked back instead of off. Okay. I think that's going to do it for us this week. If anybody has any questions, as always, send an email to help@managecomics.com. Next week, I think we're going to be talking about, actually, I don't know what we're talking about. I'm not sure if I've set up a official topic for next week. Give me 1 second and I'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like I've just set up next week and the week after. I think next week I might do something around some of the changes that we've done. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about some stores. And I want to start spotlighting stores. In June, I'm doing a road trip in Michigan, and I want to hit as many stores as I can in a 48-hour period. So for sure, if you're a Michigan store, let me know that you'd like to see me, and we'll be there Wednesday and Thursday, the 28th and 29th of June. So for sure, depending on how that goes, I may start doing some more kind of tours of shops and things. And I'm going to take some video. I'm going to talk about the individual shops and what makes each one of them unique. And yeah, we'll be seeing more and more Manage Comics shops. My ultimate goal I'd love to drive down I-75 and hit up as many stores as I can on the way to Galaxy's Edge. And, if I had to go to hang out in Star Wars land for a day or two, that'd be the worst thing in the world, wouldn't it? Anyway, thank you so much for your time, folks. And we will talk to you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks. Man, it'd be so much cooler if I would have hit the button as soon as I said thanks.